Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Right, so let's continue with the guitar solo to Give It To Me. Before we do, I'd actually like to just sort of address a few of the ideas I looked at in the first lesson, which after looking and listening again, there's a few little changes which I'll, when I finally do like a full tab for the whole solo, I'll make the adjustments in there, but let's just look at them quickly. So we start with that kind of triple stop bend. You know, little finger on the 5th fret of the 1st and 2nd strings, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd, kind of supported, and we just play the first 3 strings, bend up. And as it's kind of ringing through, we bring it down, bend it up again. And then as it comes down, I said pull off last time, but it sounds actually really, he does kind of pull off, but picks the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then we go to the 4th fret of the 3rd. And then when we go to the E note on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, one of the typical things Brian does is this little kind of double pick, which after listening again, you don't really hear the attack that much, but there's something about the way it sounds which I think it is kind of double picked, because he does that live also. And then we do that kind of slide up. So that's just over our A and D. So the F sharp, same as before, we slide from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret of the 4th string. Now starting our kind of F sharp minor scale. 4th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret of the 4th string, 4th fret, 6th fret of the 3rd. And then descend 7, 6, 4 on the 4th string. Our target then the 7th fret of the 4th string, which is part of our D chord. Then we kind of do this follow through. 7th fret of the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings to the 5th fret of the 1st, then 7th fret of the 1st, and then 5th fret of the 1st 2 times, and then 7th fret, 5th fret again. I kind of paused then because I forgot that little slide up, but things like that just don't matter. They're very typical of Brian in this instance, but the solo's not destroyed if you don't play it. But they're just nice little effects. Okay, so now the next part. So that covers one whole kind of cycle of the chords. So now we'll do another cycle. And so this is what really to pay attention. Although we're moving now into an octave higher, a different position, what we're going to kind of do is really the same kind of idea. I guess looking at this solo has made me realise that. So we're now going to do a bend on the 7th fret of the 1st string. We'll bend it up a whole step. So do that 2 times. I bend up and almost silently bring it down. It's not like so it's just then it kind of, I guess, muted a little as I bring it down, then bend again. While it's up, we kind of pick it while it's up and release it. So it comes back to its 7th fret position and then pick the 5th fret. So then the 7th fret of the 1st string and then the 5th fret of the 2nd string 2 times. So again, if you listen to the first part, which is over the A and E. Now, we move on to the next time we play A and E. And so it's effectively the same thing, which is very important to remember. You know, we're not, each time we sort of begin the chord progression, we're not trying to invent something new, we're just sort of repeating an idea but a bit more intense. So now the same thing again. So now would be our F sharp. And because of the position we're going to play this in, it might seem a little different, but remember the first time we went to F sharp. So now. So that's what is really amazing, is just keeping the same idea, moving it up an octave. Perhaps the phrasing or some of the picking is a little different, but effectively it's the same idea. And that's why a solo like this does, apart from the chords, have a kind of emotional punch. But this is what sort of sometimes guitar storytelling for me is it's not just randomly playing things we know fit over chords, but taking an idea and trying to repeat that, but, not repeating how you say it or that kind of thing. So after those two picks on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, I could shift and change my fingers. I probably for the first part I'll just do then a hammer to the 5th to the 7th on the 2nd string, and then pick 4th fret, 5th fret on the 1st string. And this is where now I'm kind of moving into a kind of different shape with my hand. 7th fret of the 2nd string, and then 4th fret of the 1st string. And then I'll pick the 7th and the 5th and then the 7th of the 2nd string. So all of that based around the F sharp minor. And now we're moving down into our D. I do a hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And then, so I pick the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and then pick and pull off from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Pick that, then pick the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and pull that off to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And 4th fret of the 3rd string, back to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Then 4th fret, 2nd fret, the 3rd string. 1st fret, 2nd fret, the 3rd string. So, that time over the D, the kind of idea is slightly different than the first time round, but that's the kind of the whole point, is that we're repeating ideas in a different position, different octave, and but at times then, sort of elaborating on it. So it's not just repetition an octave higher, but there is a kind of development in how it, in the story, so to speak. So that's 2 times round the. solo. It just does that, I think that sequence 4 times. So we'll sort of look at that, the next kind of sequence of that progression in the next lesson. So I'll just play that whole thing slowly. What we've got so far. So we've been playing these. This is another good example of playing something slow, which seems more difficult than fast. And as you can see, even when I play it, sometimes, I know what I kind of want to play, but sometimes I'll pick something, I'll pick a note rather than hammer or pull it off, or I might do something slightly different. These things don't matter too much. We try just to learn sometimes these things note for note, just to get an idea of what, in this case, Brian was trying to say. But later on, you can't be tied just to the exact same kind of phrasing. Otherwise, you'll sacrifice just the fun of playing it, worrying about, you did this hammer on rather than this, or you slid this note. So don't worry too much. It's great to learn these things note for note, and I think personally very important. But later on when you're playing it, especially in the moment, don't worry about the details too much at the expense of enjoying what you're playing. Right then, so give it a try, and we'll carry on with that in the next class. So, right, take care, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.